Hi everyone. Let's discuss about Carl Pearson coefficient of skewness. This is a topic of Unit 3. As I already discussed in my earlier video, there is a difference between absolute measures of skewness and relative measures of skewness. So today now we'll discuss about one type of relative measures of skewness which is done by Carl Pearson. Carl Pearson coefficient of skewness, this is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. So when we divide the absolute skewness by the standard deviation, we get the relative measures of skewness. Let's just see how to calculate that using the formula. This using one example. This example we have discussed in our earlier video. This will even be continued in the next video so that you get a comprehensive idea about how different measures of skewness are used. Here again, as I told you, the wages are given and the number of workers are in different wage group is given, like 600 wage rupees of 600 is earned by 87 workers. 50 people are earning around 900 wages. Therefore, we need the value of standard deviation here. As we know, first x is given, fi is given. So we'll find out, this is again, we are using the method which is called as step deviation method. Step deviation method means where we are, or even it is called assumed mean method. Assumed mean method means we are assuming any mean arbitrarily. We are not actually using the actual mean. Why do we do that? Because this is a easy method. The calculations will be much more much more comprehensive. I mean, there will be no decimals and all. This will be less cumbersome, though the formula will be big. Let's just assume, I am assuming the mean as, assume mean as 500. Therefore, I have calculated di is equals to x minus 500 divided by 100. Why I am dividing by 100? Because I want to make it very small. Now 100 minus 500 by 100 will give you minus 4, minus 3. Similar way I have calculated for all the value the di. Next thing, I need the di square. So I square all the value. Then I made two more column. One is frequency into di, fi into di. And once we have calculated fi into di square, and I have added all the value, and you see the summation of fi di is negative 17, whereas summation of fi di square is 2469. If you remember the formula of standard deviation, normally the formula of standard deviation is equals to summation fi xi square divided by summation of fi. But if we are using the fi di square, not xi, fi di square, but if I use the assume mean method, the formula will be little bigger. Let's see in the slide. Therefore, now the standard deviation sigma is equals to square root of summation fi di square by n minus of summation fi di by n whole square, entire thing square root and outside multiplied by h. H is the number by which we have divided. This is the h. The h is the 100 by which we have divided to make the di very small. So we have calculated first the mean. X bar is equals to a plus summation fi di by fi di into h, because here h is having a value 100. And we got the mean as 500 plus of summation fi di is minus 17 divided by summation of fi, which is 550 into 100, and we get the value as 496.91. Now let's calculate the standard deviation. So standard deviation values will come square root of summation fi di square. If you remember, fi di square is 2469. So 2469 divided by n, which is 550. So sigma is equals to square root of minus of summation of fi di. So if you remember, fi di is equal to minus 17 divided by n, which is 550, entire thing into whole square, and outside we are multiplying by the h, which is 100. Therefore, this value, if we calculate further, 2469 by 550, which will come as 4.489. 17 by 550 whole square will give you the value is 0.00095, and then we subtract and then we multiply it with 100, and therefore we get the value as 2.1185 into 100. Therefore the standard deviation is coming as 211.85. Now, if you remember the formula is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. So 496.91 minus 500 by 211.85, and the value is coming as minus 0.01458. Now, if you remember, I discussed in my earlier videos that how do we say which is a high level of skewness, moderate level of skewness, or low level of skewness. If the value is between minus 0.5 to plus 0.5, this is, we can say there is a very low level of skewness, or it is called approximately symmetric. If the value is negative 0.5 to negative 1, we will say moderate level of negative skewness. And if the value is beyond minus 1, then we'll say high level of negative skewness. Similar in the right hand side, if between 0.5 to 1 the skewness, we say positive skewness of moderate level, and if it is more than 1, we say high level of skewness. So comparing that value, this value is lying between 0 to negative 0.5. Therefore, we can say that the distribution is approximately symmetric, or there is a very low level of skewness. In my next video, I'll be discussing about Bowley's coefficient of skewness. That's all. Thank you.